Hi, my name is Francesca Span, and I'm the Interim Director of New Student Orientation here at Lewis and Clark College. I myself am a graduate of Lewis and Clark and participated in NSO as a new student. New Student Orientation is designed to welcome new students to the college, provide them with the necessary resources for academic success and student life. NSO is also where new students cultivate friendships and begin to form a sense of belonging as part of the Lewis and Clark College community. Planning for NSO starts back in March as we began to compile our new student orientation summer checklist items. The checklist is sent out in May, or in the case of this year, June. The summer checklist exists on the NSO checklist tab on our website. The checklist has two columns. One for tasks that will prepare new students for class registration, and general tasks that need to be completed before arrival on campus. Tasks that prepare students for class registration are also listed in Students' Pioneer portal, which they should be familiar with from the admissions process. From this time in May, when the NSO checklist is sent out, NSO planning ramps up as we plan programming, evening events, our NSO Service Day, move-in, the NSO groups, and more. Planning for new student orientation is no small feat, but luckily I have help. Every year, the NSO director works alongside the NSO student director, a current undergraduate student, usually going into their senior year, who helps with the planning and execution of NSO. This year's NSO student director is Alan Gayola. I'll let Alan introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Alan Misel Gagiola, and I am the Student Director of New Student Orientation. I am a rising senior at Lewis and Clark College, majoring in psychology with an emphasis on neuroscience. Like Francesca, I participated in NSO as an NSO leader before taking on this position. The reason I wanted this position was because I wanted to make sure that there was more of a connection between international students, third culture kids like myself, and traditional students, as well as making sure that students of color and of underrepresented backgrounds were being represented in the planning process of new student orientation and thought of thoroughly. My whole family is from Sinaloa, Mexico, and I had the great privilege of living on my ancestral land for quite some time with my family before moving out to Phoenix, Arizona, where I was ultimately raised. Francesca was also a huge part as to why I wanted to apply. Fran is incredibly hardworking, and her passion for NSO is inspiring to me every single day, as well as the fact that her passion for NSO is unparalleled. I knew that if I were given the position, she would not only listen to what I had to say, but also input my suggestions into the planning of NSO. I am so excited for your students to come to Lewis and Clark. I have love and appreciation for Elsie for all of the great opportunities that I have had while attending the college, and I am sure that your students will feel the same way when they get here. As a current student, I know that these uncertain times are a little scary, but rest assured when I tell you that Lewis and Clark is doing the best that they can to make sure that your students have the best first year that they can. If you or your student have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, Fran, or the both of us at nso@go.lclark.edu. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Although Alan and I work all summer to plan NSO, orientation would also not be possible without our NSO student leaders. Undergraduate student leaders volunteered their last week of summer to mentor, guide, and facilitate sessions for the incoming students. We have two groups of NSO leaders: group leaders, who work with the small group of new students, and management leaders, who help with the behind-the-scenes work of NSO. In a normal year, we have 30 group leaders and about 10 management team leaders. However, circumstances have shifted, and we have brought on an extra 20 NSO leaders to ensure that NSO groups are safely sized and abiding by Oregon guidelines for COVID-19. With 50 NSO group leaders, this means we will be able to hold most of orientation in person with supplementary virtual content. We have also brought on an extra 3 management team leaders to help with the task execution for our extended move-in days. You can learn more about our NSO leaders on the Meet the NSO Team tab on the NSO website. Now let's take a look at the Nso schedule for this year. Move-in. On August 22nd and 23rd, we are offering an extra de-densified move-in option for students with elevated health concerns or immunocompromised health status. The rest of new students will move in during a 2.5-hour window between Monday, August 24th at 8 a.m. through Wednesday, August 26th at 3 p.m. Between student move-in and NSO programming, the NSO leaders will be around to host new student picnics outside, conduct walkthroughs of the school's new pathways, and also provide spaces for new students to start to get to know each other. When NSO programming starts on Wednesday, new students will meet up in their NSO groups of 10, receive health information, play icebreakers, introduce themselves to their other new students, and have their hall meetings. On the Thursday of NSO, students will participate in our academic welcome, learn about the College Advising Center and student support services, hear from the Dean of the College, Bruce Suppmeyer, and listen in on a professor roundtable talk to learn about what it means to receive a liberal arts education. From here, students will meet with their academic advisor and have the opportunity to make changes to their class schedule. Students will also participate in their first-year seminar kickoff lecture, marking their first college class. Very exciting. On Friday, August 28th of NSO, students will have sexual health and consent training, a session with our Student Rights and Responsibilities Office, and meet a local Portland author, Jamila Osman, who wrote our common essay reading for this year. The Saturday of New Student Orientation is usually our annual service day, a signature NSO event where we send out 500 of our new students into the community to volunteer with local organizations. For this year, Service Day has been reimagined. Instead, we are offering Engage in Racial Justice, a conversation in partnership with Race Talks, a local Portland organization working to dismantle racism through conversations about race and identity. Finally, the Sunday of NSO is a bit of a rest day before classes start the following day. Our Office of Inclusion and Multicultural Engagement, also known as IME, will host an activity on identity, and other returning students will host small events both in person and virtually. Throughout all evenings of NSO, students will have different events to choose from. We have coordinated an evening event format that allows students to select an in-person activity or a virtual activity. From physics to slam poetry, watching the sunset to sign making, we are working really hard to create events that will foster socialization and keep students engaged. NSO is a special time on campus. It's my favorite time of the year. The weather is warm and the nervous excitement from new students is palpable. I want to acknowledge that this year's NSO will be different. There's no getting around that, and this fact, to think that NSO would be normal would be to discredit the circumstances that we must operate under due to COVID-19. However, this does not mean that NSO needs to be or will be lesser. As we adapt to the changes that arise every day, I am confident in this resilient class who, with every email, phone call, Instagram interaction, are excited to come to campus and start their college experience as any other new student in any other previous year. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about your students' experience with NSO. Alan and I are always available to answer questions from students and parents. Feel free to reach out and email us at nso@lclark.edu. Please take care and roll Pios.